You made the point. I would say this.
Grade.
Here's the problem: is the 17th Amendment, because Cenk is not necessary, or if Cenk's view is that the senators are representing the people, that's not wrong since the 17th. It used to be that your state legislatures would appoint people to represent the state's interests, and then we changed it in the early 1900s. I think that's a mistake. I think states should have representation. I'll tell you exactly why. Cenk, do you know about, so I covered the drought in California. It's 10 years ago.
No.
We had a drought in California.
No
I went to Tulare County.
representative.
300,000 poor people, a lot of migrant workers and farmers live there. I went to these farms and they were drilling thousands, tens of thousands of feet down into the earth for groundwater so they could water their crops because the drought had been very severe. I went to the home of a poor migrant family that they harvested crops. They had no water. They turned their water on, nothing came out. The reason was their wells at their houses only go down 30 feet, but the farmers were drilling down 5 to 10,000 or more feet. So the groundwater had been sucked all up for the farms. So the first thing we thought was,
like
hey,
California.
they're stealing the water from the poor workers for their business and their crops. Well, the argument was, yeah, but we have to grow food, otherwise we don't eat. So I go to the farms and I said, why are you doing this? And they said, we provide a third of the economy of the state. We're producing food. I mean, there's nothing here. There's no workers here unless we can grow the crops. I look over and there's a canal full of water. I said, why don't you just take the actual water that you have that comes from the mountains? And they said, we are a county. This is what I heard from like 7 different farmers. We're a county of 300,000 people. We voted to keep our water. And the cities like San Diego and Carlsbad with golf courses outvoted us.
Oh, yeah, it is.
So we went to Carlsbad and we saw golf courses getting watered. They actually, the people who lived there came out and said, we refuse to have brown lawns.
Yeah, he can't disagree with that one there, Cenk. But yeah, good old California. Yeah. Yeah, it's pretty crazy, just like everybody with their huge grass lawns, like in a drought in California, and all these people like crying and like, yeah, it's crazy. My parents live there, and they got in San Diego, and they got a house, and like, yeah, people like the homeowners association or just other people walking around, and like they get mad at you because your yard, you know, all these old people, they're like, your yard, why don't you keep your yard well and stuff? And people are like, just spend all their time watering their lawn and paying all these landscapers, and you're just like, it's like just spraying water everywhere every day, and you're just like, what's the point? And then meanwhile, it's like, we're growing food, but there's like a drought and they don't have enough water to grow food, but we're like, I need my big grass lawn. You know how much I pay in taxes? And you're just like, yeah, cool. Can't talk any reason. These people are like, they're like, the crime. I spent my whole life working for the American dream. And like every weekend they're just on their like, you know, lawn. They're on their little mower going around their little tiny grass square. Yeah. At least my parents are smart enough. They're like, yeah, enough of this. We're just putting in cement, dude. Not have any of our stupid neighbors telling us, your yard, it doesn't look good. Why don't you pay more landscapers to just go around needlessly watering everything and blowing everything with leaf blowers and air blowers all day, just so every single day it's just rrr, rrr, rrr. I'm like trying to sleep. You're just like, rrr, rrr. You're like, what's going on outside? It's just like leaf blowers. They're just blowing stuff out, and then they're just like, when they're done, they just go down to the next house. They just do the same thing, blow everything down, brr, 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 just all day, just blowing things back and forth from everybody's yard so they could just keep raking in money, dude. Just craziness. And they're like, yeah, we need this water, dude. It's just like, dude, what are you doing? What are you doing with a grass lawn like in San Diego, dude? I have no idea. But yeah, it's true, dude. They need all this money, and they got golf courses. Yeah, like green golf courses. Like, I could understand, like, you know, it's like you're a desert, dude. Go with like a desert motif. That might be cool. No, we can't have that. We need our Torrey Pines golf course. Needs to be beautiful and green and look like we're in like in the middle of like Britain or something. Like, you know, it's like, what are you doing, dude? It's like, it looks green like the fields of Ireland. It's just like, dude, it's like, it's San Diego, dude. Like, no, we must have it so that, you know, we can have all these special golf players and courses and stuff. Tiger Woods might come. Tiger Woods is coming. I remember when Tiger Woods came, everyone made a big deal, and we were like, cool, dude. Meanwhile, there's like fires and drought and starving people, and just like, yeah, cool, whatever. Homeless people everywhere. But Tiger Woods is coming to play a golf game. Yay! Yay, everybody! Yay! Water. And I'm just like, yeah, cool, dude. Meanwhile, my brother up in like, Northern California, where they're like trying to farm and grow stuff, they're just like running out of water, and like just everything's crazy, and they're just droughts, and like, yeah, that's crazy too. Everybody using all the water to grow almonds. It's just like, we need almonds, and it's like, yeah, everybody's getting out of that now because they can't afford the water. They used up all the water for almonds. Can't be without my almonds everywhere. Yeah, that's why those things are so expensive now, if you wondered, because like they use up so much water, like all the water. So what this guy's saying is true. It's just like drying up all the water, using up all the water for all this stuff. At least that's food you can eat, unlike these golf courses. It's like, really? Let's wait, or let's like create a water reserve or something, so maybe you can like, if we can beat this quota, but we got incentive. Yeah, it's just like literally like, but they have all the money. Yeah, it's like all the money and the voting power in the city, and they just vote for this. They're like, in this city, they're just like, I can't conceive of not having a golf course. We're like a major city, dude. You're just like, okay, whatever, dude. We don't have water, okay? Like, figure that one out before we build a stupid golf course. Bunch of idiots.
We should have the right to water our lawns. Across the street from a golf course with watered green grass was poor migrant workers with no water. And it all came down to, in a system of direct democracy within the state, it was put to a vote, and the cities with majorities said, we want the water for the cities, not for the people where the water came from. So if you try to figure out a way to balance this, looking at a national
democracy
level, what happens if you go to a state like Montana that's about to be inducted in a given statehood, and we say, we're going to do everything popular vote. Montana goes, you're going to come in here and you're going to vote to take out all of our water from us. In fact, it happened. Arizona tried suing, to file a lawsuit against, I think it was Illinois, to take Great Lakes water. And the only reason it got stopped is because Ontario is a foreign country and it's part of the Great Lakes Coalition. So that would interfere with Canada and international obligations. So Arizona was not able to start shipping water from the Great Lakes, which would have depleted it. You tell the states, here's what we're going to do. There'll be two forms of representation. You're not guaranteed to win. The people may actually vote to take the water and the minerals from your state. But we'll create two systems. One, you're a small state, you'll get one at-large representative, but you'll have two senators. Every state gets two senators, and the Senate will be your competing voice, so there'll be some minority representation. Lest we see what happens inside of California, where 2 million people living in an urban center, we 2 million outweigh the 300,000, we take all their water, and they did. And those people didn't have any water. So I don't think there's a perfect solution for it, but I think...
Yeah, it's kind of what I was saying there, where it's just like, just people outside don't always know like the needs of the resources and other things and how important it is. Although, there's always, that's why we debate these things, of course, too, because it's like there's always a trade-off with these things, too. It's like that old Leonard Nimoy saying, look, the needs of the many outweigh the needs of the few. There's a point for being able to like vote on things and other things and have, but often the average person just doesn't really know. Like they're more aware of what's going on in their community. They don't always know what's going on in others. So I think it's important to have some way of leveling the representation based on states, so that you have people there that are in tune, that are more in tune with the what's going on in that particular state, and they can kind of level out things. Because again, there are things like that where you have water resources being used and sold and traded like commodities and things in between states, and like things get, people start arguing and playing. Water is a huge one. Water is such a big issue with like fights and politics. That's definitely one of the big ones, if not the major player. I mean, was it India right now is having so many issues right now with China. They're fighting over water and arguing over it because China's, all these rivers they're depending on for water, they don't have the most resources with water, and all these, the rivers they're depending on, like China's been building up all these dams and blocking the water and using up the water for, to provide power and stuff, and that's becoming like a huge political conflict. And, everyone's been talking about the BRICS thing, the what is it, Brazil, Russia, India, China, South America, and that potential alliance to go against the dollar. But that's really, I almost see like on top of a lot of that maybe being like just hot air and other things, and like, you know, a lot of that kind of, but you know, the kind of stalled that you didn't hear as much, things kind of like went around, and like you always hear about it, but I almost don't see like the water, the issue and fighting over water and other things. There's a lot of issues that play with resources that just prevent these people from being able to, you know, really work together. And that's always been an issue. It's like an ongoing issue with, you know, just more people not working together. Just like, you know, not everyone has what they need. And then India just like going over there. And so like water is just a huge issue. And so at least in a place like the United States, where we're pretty like, you know, we're pretty like self-sufficient in the sense that when you combine all of our territory and states, we have most of what we need, even if we're not utilizing it all or drilling for all the resources and things. We might still be utilizing trade and resources from other places, but we can be very self-sufficient for the most part compared to most countries. And so we don't even have that. But within a state-to-state issue, that's not the case. Certain states don't have everything they need, so we have to really be able to rely on working to each other and to utilize and take advantage of the natural resources in each one of these states. And some states may be small but have a very important natural resource, and so having that representation is huge, so that they don't just get to a point where they're completely unable to you know, function as a state with their economy and their business, you know. And like water is definitely one of those huge ones. Yeah. Thanks for watching this clip from Cat Ballz. Subscribe to watch the full episode and more clips like this, and we'll catch you next time.